welcome everyone to the chat here. Hey, everyone, my name is Victor Lee. I'm the investment advisor for Huobi Group, for both Huobi Ventures and for Huobi Incubator, right? So today I'm the host, and here we are trying to actually bring Web3 to the next level, right? And Huobi want to be part of it. So Huobi Incubator collaborates with the Web3 scholarships partners and industry-leading public blockchain to host a monthly demo day competition, right? It's like a Columbo demo day. Just like Columbus who found America across the vast ocean, last time, we wants to take the lead and explore this Web3 potential. As a leading incubator in the crypto space, we believe that we're providing a continuous open platform to showcase the new emerging trends and movements and projects within the Web3. We are able to select the quality projects in this industry, in this Web3 movement, right? And help them to gain more exposure. Together with our partners, we will be providing these projects with mentorships, seed fundings, resources, and long-term support. We aim to build a better Web3 ecosystem together. I can see who has actually is in the chat here. Let me see. We have Ilya here. So Ilya is actually the co-founder and partner from Central Capital. Thanks for being here, Ilya. Right. And then of course we have Oliver here. Oliver is a portfolio manager at Outlier Ventures. Great. Thanks to have you here, Oliver. And then of course we also have Jen Kanai from strategic partnership from Animoca brand. So thanks for being here, Jen. Yeah, we have more people. I think Guy. Yeah, Guy, you're here as well from Pools Finance. Great to have you here. He's also we have Stephen from Polygon is here as well. So thanks for being here, Stephen.
All right. Well, hey guys, my name is Phil George. I'm here today to speak about what we're building over at Go. We're focused on growing the GDP of the metaverse. So I guess where we start is, over the last year, we've sort of seen a whole bunch of new opportunities arise across the metaverse where people have been able to earn an income or a portion of an income. And we've seen all of the technologies arise that make us have a huge level of conviction that we believe in the internet of jobs. We believe that we now have the technology to empower billions of people to earn an income and a living completely online. And we're now dedicated to build the infrastructure to enable those people. The infrastructure that we're building is called MetaFi, and our mission is to grow the economic output of the decentralized economy. So what is MetaFi? MetaFi is infrastructure that is designed to empower what we call netizens, people who spend their time in the metaverse, to easily navigate the metaverse, easily pay, play, learn, earn, and discover opportunities across the metaverse, which we think is currently hyper fragmented and, by nature decentralized, so difficult to identify and find opportunities. So we want to essentially aggregate those opportunities. It's also a platform to build and maintain your reputation across the metaverse and the various ecosystems that netizens spend time in. And then a global marketplace for metaverse assets where people can sort of trade cross-chain and cross-ecosystem when they want to change out of certain assets and into other assets. So in summary, what we're building here is an earnings dashboard for Web3. Think of MetaFi in that way. So just to sort of say where we sort of see this and why this is transforming things is it appears to us that essentially opportunity has been geographically restricted for the majority of human history. And even as technology has come like the internet, you've still required a financial connection in order to actually earn a reasonable living. And, I imagine most of the people here today are pretty familiar with the technology, so I won't sort of drag on about them, but I think what we've really seen is a merging of people's identity with their ability to earn. So when we say we're watching the internet of jobs forming, it's different to what we saw in the Web 2 wave, because now people can get started with nothing but essentially a browser and a plugin anywhere in the world, which means that someone in any country on earth can compete with a Harvard graduate from working in New York for any piece of work, as long as they're more skilled. there really are no more barriers. And that's why we think that this is such a transformative opportunity. The new knowledge worker is seeking earning opportunities across the metaverse, and we want the tools to be built to empower those people and onboard the next generation of decentralized workers. So how does it actually work? What does MetaFi look like? So we think of it in four key modules. So we sort of think that the primary part of the platform is an earnings platform, which is a place for people to track their earnings, both historic and their projected earnings across the different opportunities in the metaverse. An invest pillar, which basically is a place where asset owners can manage and lend their NFTs out to people and also track the value of their assets against the theoretical value of them based on sort of machine learning. We're not building that. We're partnering with protocol platforms that are doing the valuations. And owners can also track the income that they're generating from any assets that are lent out. But importantly, the pillar of learn, which is the third module that we think of, is about making these various, sometimes very complex ecosystems that are arising more immediately accessible and understandable to people. We think it's great that like the early adopters have figured these things out and that they read white papers that are like 39 pages long. But we think that if we want 1 billion people to be able to participate in these decentralized economies, they need to be made more simple, more relatable, and immediately understandable so that people can jump in. So part of the learn and the fourth module, discover, is making these things more readily accessible for the next wave of adoption. And there are four key modules. I guess the one thing I'll touch on the final one, discover, is we actually want to attract the publishers and developers of the various ecosystems across the metaverse so that they can promote what they're launching and what they're building to the MetaFi network, the people who are already on platform, because they're the people who are already existing in the metaverse and performing daily tasks or activities or play or just hanging out. And they seem to be the best people that you can possibly market a new ecosystem to, rather than, you know, using traditional marketing methods through social or Google marketing. We think that this is a new economy, and it deserves a new platform that people can promote what they're building. So in summary, MetaFi is designed to help people track their income, build their reputation, and discover opportunity. We think that that's really different to what we see in the space at the moment. And, you know, anyone who's been involved in the cryptocurrency or blockchain space for a long time, a lot of it has just been about asset tracking the value of a fixed asset, whether it goes up or whether it goes down. And that's great. And obviously a lot of people have done particularly well off of that. And the ecosystem has been built out to the point that we see today. But ultimately, for the everyday person, for most people alive today, what matters is earnings, not assets, values. What matters is how much money they can earn in a period of time in order to live off of. So MetaFi's platform is geared around earnings. It's geared around making visible what people can earn across the metaverse so that they can make educated decisions and spend time in the metaverse. And over time, we're confident that that will accelerate the adoption in this entire space. So who are GOAT? Where did we come from? We started late last year. We raised a small amount of money, 1.7 mil US, from some awesome supporters. We deployed it into these various ecosystems and started setting up tracking. We started setting up all of the information that we sort of think is important to now make public to everyone else on the MetaFi platform. Deployed it relatively effectively. We're now cash flow positive and profitable, and we've got a team that's growing all the time. So after about 120 days, 140 days, we've got 2,000 active netizens. So that's people who are on our closed platform at the moment that are earning an income across the metaverse, with about 7.6 mil of annualized revenue across the network and a community of about 50,000 people. So growing, and it's been awesome working with all of these people from all around the world. We're currently raising additional capital through a DAO to fund the development of the MetaFi platform exclusively and expand across the metaverse. So the MetaFi platform will be a decentralized aggregation platform that will also be decentralized in its ownership. Our initial pre-sale is led by Animoca, and we'll raise $5 million through that process. And so far, we have oversubscribed 50% of that portion from our existing investor base. So these people are coming in again and following up their prior investment. We're aiming to launch a private beta of the platform in Q2, so this quarter, towards the end of this quarter. And then we're working with our protocol partners and getting some of our ecosystem partners' assets onboarded on the platform so that we can test it out with an aimed public beta in Q4 2022. We'll then be performing an airdrop to some of the early participants in the metaverse to try to attract them to our platform.
Phil,
So,
your
yep,
time's up.
jump
Can
in.
you wrap it up?
Yeah,
Can you wrap
absolutely.
it up?
Yep. So to sort of summarize, we want to spend the next bunch of years building a collection of tools to make netizens' lives easier across the metaverse. And we're excited to build MetaFi as a platform which will be the hub of the decentralized order. The only final thing that I'll say is that we've had some awesome support and collaboration with our lead investor, Animoca, who's provided us with phenomenal access to their ecosystem and portfolio of investments. And we look forward to building out MetaFi and continuing to integrate with some of the early and largest builders in the space. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Phil.
No problems.
Open the floor to the judges. Anybody want to ask any questions to Phil?
Yeah, happy to. Hi, Phil, Stephen here.
Hey,
we've seen over the last 6 months the DAO and gaming guild space has been really blowing up. Where do you see the difference between your project and a traditional DAO, and is that part of, are you now looking to service those DAOs?
Yeah, no, excellent question. I mean, we think that the GameFi space is a huge part of the ecosystems that are arising in the metaverse. And there's a whole bunch of complexity with those game DAOs managing what they're doing. The MetaFi platform is sort of built for, NFT investors, guilds themselves, like guild DAO platforms to manage their collection of assets, and also to help facilitate the lease and borrowing process should they need to. But I guess the key differentiator is that we think of GameFi as a subset of the ecosystems in the metaverse, and we're not specifically focused on gaming. We're focused on all forms of earning opportunities that exist in the space. So, if there's leasing of lands across Decentraland, or the leasing of art-based assets or fashion-based assets in different ecosystems where people just spend their time to hang out with friends, we think that that's like equally as valid, and that over time we want a more agnostic approach to what the metaverse looks like than gaming specific. Does that sort of answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Thank you. That's useful. And
awesome.
Next question about, you mentioned you got, I think it was 2,000 people using your platform already, you're cash flow positive. How does that, and you're raising a token now, how does that business model, or what is the business model around the token that you're offering?
Yeah, awesome question. We do allude to it later in the deck, but unfortunately I went on too long with the previous part. But essentially the MetaFi platform is a transactional platform that aims to effectively charge a small transactional fee when we facilitate something that adds value to the netizens as our customers. So similar to the likes of the Zerions and Zappers of the world that are decentralized finance platforms that aggregate all of the various yield opportunities. And similar to platforms like MetaMask itself, which charge a small, like 0.71% fee when they aggregate all of the different decentralized exchanges, will charge a small transaction fee for what will be targeted as many transactions per netizen across the platform over time.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Stephen. Thanks, Phil. Any other questions from the judges? Just to check with Phil. I'm opening up the floor to the participants as well, right? Or anybody who want to ask. Feel free.
Hi, Phil. Jonathan here. Question about...
Hey, Jonathan.
You mentioned you're raising additional capital from a DAO. Can you talk a bit about what your experience has been like? Thanks.
My capital raising experience, are you asking?
Yes, through a DAO.
Yeah, okay. To date, it's been highly positive. Most of the feedback has been from the people that we've spoken to in attracting capital is that they love the fact that this is a aggregation platform that's designed for decentralized earners, and the platform itself will be decentralized, which means that the very participants who are early in the metaverse will have the opportunity to have ownership or participation in building out that platform itself, rather than the privately held companies that are doing an aggregator in sort of the decentralized finance world. So a lot of them have been investors in some of those platforms, but are excited about the decentralized ownership structure of this. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thanks. Just to add on to that real quick, did you find it more effective to approach like larger organizations like a DAO instead of targeting individual users during your fundraising process? Thanks.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I mean, essentially, we're in the private stage of the capital raise, and it's just a far more scalable approach to attract those sophisticated investors.
Any other questions from Oliver?
Yeah, quick question from my side. This is Olivier from Outlier Ventures. I was just wondering to what extent, like, you've worked out the plan for like the token. Like, I presume like, the token will be like to govern the DAO, in a sense, but also, will there be any like earning opportunities attached to the token, or any kind of like sort of mechanisms to like incentivize like holding, staking the token, things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the key benefits, and I'll try to be super quick for everyone, but the staking of the token following the airdrop, which will be determined based on what sort of assets people held across the early ecosystems, and the airdrop will be proportional to how many assets and how long they've held them. The people will be incentivized to essentially stake their tokens to have things like earning boosting, where we'll use the token itself to boost people's earnings across the platforms that they're tracking. So the more tokens that they hold and the more that they stake, the more that they can actually supplement their income directly from these ecosystems with the GOAT token itself. And staking at different volumes of the token will basically have different tiers of privilege on the platform, as well as discounts on transactional things on the platform. So we basically will try to be incentivizing staking everywhere across the platform, and remunerating people both with discounts on transactions and with remuneration directly in the native token. But we'll have things like when someone submits a new ecosystem to the platform with an explanation of its economics, because that's growing the platform for us, we will incentivize that as with tokens as well, so that we don't have a huge engineering burden, and the engineering burden can be distributed out to the community and participants of the DAO.
That's great. Thank you.
Hello guys, sorry for the delay, but working from home those days, we may have some. I may have some internet problems. So, nice to meet you. My name is Sovi. I'm the CEO of Firebike Games. I'm an executive in the gaming industry in the past 10 years. All the studios that I've been working in the past 10 years are focused on the mobile area. So right now, Age of Battles, it's a branch of Firebike Games that actually has 70 people right now. So we have 70 employees as a gaming company, and we are public as well in Romania. We are bringing to you Age of Battles that aims to be one of the first decentralized real-time strategy game universe that combines free-to-play and play-to-earn. One of the things that we actually seen in the past months or year is that the lack of gaming experience it's everywhere. Like when we are talking about play to earn, So right now we are bringing you a project that it may help the blockchain community and the investors and a lot of structures behind. Age of Battles projects is gonna be one of the first series of interconnected metaverse game created by Age of Battle team. The series will will include multiple games that's gonna share the same level of assets across the metaverse. And as I said, the project is gonna be on mobile and desktop version as well. Yep. Edge of Battle goal is to provide a unique experience for free to play and play to earn in the same time. It's one of the biggest issues right now that the market has, and from our perspective as game developer, we may help with a better approach. Right now, the company is working on different fields, like from development perspective to different live ops events that can push a project very far. The Age of Battles metaverse will be owned by the community. The main focus over here is to bring non-crypto people to the to the metaverse, to the Web3 part, where where we can create game design hooks that in the end they can convert into play to earn. One of the things that the game will have is going to be obviously the play to earn. We're going to have a marketplace where the user can lend and borrow asset, but in the same time the farming and the staking. When we are talking about the staking, we are taking in considerations two options. One is the token, but as well the NFTs that can give a lot of rewards when come to this mechanic. Age of Battles, as I said, it's a real-time tactical strategy game. It's a RTS. The audience for this type of game is very wide. We've seen this in the normal market, and I think it's a mechanic that's gonna bring a lot of interaction. It doesn't matter the environment. Basically, in a short description, the gameplay it's very easy. You need to destroy in real time the opponent towers, but in the same time trying to defend yourself, but attacking the same time. Yeah. Based on the a simplifying game flow for the game, it's the following. Like, user is building a deck with cards. He's playing 3 minutes matches. Based on the outcome of that, it may upgrade different cards and have a better access to new realms where he can identify new card. Users can upgrade their normal cards that are not digital once they reach a certain level of the card. They can use the forge that's inside the game, where they can create the NFT. Once the user has the NFT is going to give access to different events. It's going to act as a battle pass, but it can be used in staking. That's going to generate different items only from the staking part. That's going to give access to specific event inside the game. And as well, as we said above, the marketplace is going to be used for lending, borrow, selling, and different mechanics. The game right now, it has 5 battlegrounds. We have around 30 characters created, but from the original character, from original cards, we can create more than 50,000 NFT. We are not trying to limit the number of the NFTs. We are creating rarities on the NFT based on how the users are minting them. The power of the NFT level is going to be determined exactly in the game event, and the task that the user has to do, based only on that. Yeah, as I said, the cards are gonna have different rarity categories like rare, common, heroic, mythical, and once they reach a certain level, they can be transformed in NFTs by burning those old cards. So right now we are thinking the flattening system from the soft currency that's gonna be the gold. The NFTs, yes, as let me jump over here. So basically, this is how the forge is gonna work. Like this is an in-game screen of the forge. User has 3 cards level 12. It's using token to mint it, and it's creating a barbarian. The barbarian is gonna have access to different parts of the game. The game has as well alliance system where the user can interact, can donate, can create new alliances. We considered in the future that there's going to be a war between the alliances where we can offer possibility to a easy onboarding from free to play to play to earn. Trials is going to be one of the most easiest way to onboard with play to earn. To do that, you will need to have an NFT. Based on the level of the NFT, you can actually enter the trials, and it's gonna have a pool of rewards based on the position. You can win a top prize. Yeah, the token name is going to be Age of Battles, AOB. The total supply is going to be 1 billion. We are launching this project on Polygon. The token utility, it's going to be in-game currency. So the game, as I say, it's going to be free to play, and play to earn is going to have a monetization system outside the blockchain, but it's going to have as well in-game currency that's going to help with the chain. The token utility, it's for trials, rewards, staking, governments. It's going to use for community incentives. I'm in a rush because I got a notification about 1 minute remaining, so sorry. So the game flow looks like the white areas. The user starts with the full card pack, is battling, it's earning chests, it's upgrading cards, honor points, it's upgrading the cards, it earned different. It's earned different new cards, but the blue area is where the user is onboarded with play to earn mechanics. We are having right now the tokenomics is in iteration. We just closed the seat with the guys from Polygon Studios and in GGG. In the following period, we are trying to close the private sale. That's around 6% of the tokenomics. The amount of what we are discussing, it's about $5 million. We are having here as well defined, the cliff and the vesting period for each part of it. If you got the presentation, you may seen it. Us roadmap, we have started the development, so we are planning to have Age of Battles beta in end of May. We're gonna have the TG in end of the Q2, and after we're gonna try to have the public sales. If you want, I can share you my screen. I don't have a lot of time. I have the game over here, so it's let me show you how the main gameplay it's working.
Or maybe you can share the link to the rest of the people. You let the judges to ask you some questions, right?
Okay, perfect. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Opening the questions to the floor from the judges.
Yes, please.
Yeah, hey, Ken.
Vidya, thank you very much for your presentation. This is Gen from Animoca. Can you talk a little bit about the token launch? Is that being done from Romania? Does Romania allow for token launches?
Well, the public company, it's in Romania, but we are having a token company in a different country, so it's not run directly from our public company because the Romanian government right now is not aligned with the with the blockchain ecosystem for the moment.
Understood. And then, so you mentioned that you've raised a little bit from Polygon.
Yes.
How are you doing any other equity fundraising, or is it all just token from here on out?
We are doing just token for the moment, based on the fact that we invested as company more than 1 million euro to have the project as it is right now, and it's very close to the launching date. We really, we are like professional developers from this perspective. We are working with one of the biggest things that we're gonna bring in this ecosystem is that this project is gonna be backed up by one of the biggest publishers in the world. This is one of the reasons why it's free to play, and because it's gonna allow us to onboard and to the user acquisition, and based on our experience, we can live measure the data. We are partners with the guys from Machination as well. They're gonna be on board. We are creating tools behind the game that's gonna allow us to measure in real time the whole economy and to measure everything. So it's gonna be very easy to have a flow for the whole economy where we can reward the play to earn section. But for that, being a real-time strategy game, we really need a big pool of players, as you may know, and having a publishing expertise like one of the biggest one in the world, and having a developer with more than 10 years experience in the gaming sector, I think it's a big plus. We are not talking about a project that's gonna come to the blockchain next year. The project is here.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Any other questions from other judges?
Yes, hi. So
Hello,
first
Guy.
of all, presentation, Guy from Pulse Finance here. If you can back a bit to the team, as you mentioned, you have a studio that have some game developer and games that live now. If you can give some background about your experience, the result and that you achieved from the existing game that now in the market, how many download?
Yes. So as I said, I'm an executive in the past 10 years in the gaming sector. Most of the people that are working with us right now are coming from Ubisoft, Gameloft, King, EA, and the past title we did last year, it's on the casual area where we had more than 100 million downloads only last year. Right up to date, we have more than 500 million downloads in App Store and Google Play. We can send you a link if you're interested in private with one of the latest titles that we are having. Each month we are having, like right now, we are doing each month one soft launch, and once in a while, based on the metrics we are having, we decide if we are launching it or not. So, but last year we had the latest title has 100 million installs.
Okay, so please, if you can send me after, it will be perfect. Thank you.
Sure.
Hey guys, I'm Sham. I'm CEO of Skeleton Hand. Let me get my video playing. 1 second. And that one. And let me know if it's actually showing.
Yeah, I saw scuba diving. Yes.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for having me. This is really exciting to be a part of. So yeah, I'm CEO and creative director at Skeleton Hand. My name is Sham. And we're making Incarnate. So the game is a play-to-own tactical RPG played on a fully transformable battlefield with really deep mechanics, an expansive story-rich universe, and infinite customization. So we like to say, imagine if 3D chess, Axie Infinity, and Zeus had a baby. That would be Incarnate. It's our quick way to explain it to people. And just briefly, like we started working on this project, or the universe rather, of this project in actually 2014. We had a Kickstarter. I've actually got one right next to me, but we had a successful Kickstarter. We printed and sold out. And right now we've got a live alpha with 100+ testers, and they're itching to invest in their Incarnates. And actually today, oddly enough, we'll be going into closed beta with people being able to use their NFTs. So let me show you a little bit of actually what people are playing. Hopefully the video isn't too choppy, and I'll kind of talk over it. It's got music, but I'll just talk over it so you can get some context. So yeah, Incarnate is a tactical hero collector. You assemble and build champions, you customize, equip, and enhance them, and then you gather the best team for whatever the challenges that you're facing. Core gameplay is tactical, strategic, turn-based battles on a fully 3D and entirely reshapeable battlefield, and you can see some of the kind of the crazy stuff that can happen. There's a campaign mode, large-scale boss battles, and a live PvP, which is in development. All of this is real and playable in alpha today, and I guess closed beta today also. So yeah, I'll just kind of come over, skim over this a little bit briefly because I think you guys all understand the value of what's happening here. It's gaming started with pay to play and then moved to free to play. Tons of new users that came in that couldn't get involved just because of the paywall that existed before. What we're seeing in blockchain gaming right now is this concept of pay to earn, right? Not just Axie Infinity, but a lot of games require you to have NFTs or to have crypto to get involved. And we saw this shift already to free to earn, which is you can play for free and then you can earn as much as you want. We think that there's a core problem with this concept. Both of those words are free and earn. There's nothing about play. It's all about the economics of it. And while that might be a short-term solution or interesting proposal right now, we just think that it's really important that we move towards what we're kind of going towards, which is called play to own. So the core difference here is that we put the play first, and ownership is the kind of the value proposition. So with that in mind, Incarnate's leading the charge with play to own. You can build, you battle, and you own. You can start for free. You don't actually need to connect to a blockchain wallet at all to get involved in Incarnate. You battle AI and other players to train up your army of Incarnates. And then the ownership aspect is you own and trade your Incarnates as NFTs. And you can earn our native token, the Fate tokens, by winning and participating in tournaments, doing daily quests and things like that. So to give you a little bit of context about the actual game and how these characters are built, Incarnates are each made up of a mind, a body, and soul, and you can kind of see those parts separated here. Those three parts make that build right there. The parts are mixable with other heroes, which gives them tens of thousands of character combinations, fully 3D character combinations to choose from and collect. The parts represent the character's strengths and weaknesses, and each mind, body, and soul comes with a unique ability that can be used on the battlefield. So the strength of your team really comes down to the synergies between the abilities that you find, and not just the strength of one individual Incarnate. We've got battles across over 100 campaign levels on battlefields of every size, shape, and design. The battles are against AI enemies and these really massive kind of World of Warcraft-esque bosses with intricate and I think very fun mechanics. And by winning those battles, you gain these equipment cards called Eternals, and they beef up your Incarnates, right? They give you a passive ability, and they give you those slots that you see, those little shapes at the bottom. Those are where you can fit in stat charms, basically, that can upgrade your characters. So along the way, you'll be getting this in-game currency called seal fragments, and that's the own aspect. And they can be traded for an on-chain token, ERC20 token, called Creator Seal. We're going to be on the Polygon network. You can trade that Creator Seal in and some Fate to mint an Incarnate, or I guess we're calling it Seal and Incarnate as an NFT. And when you mint them, they're either given one or very rarely two gifts. These are bonuses you can't get anywhere else, and so they give this inherent value and an incentive for people to actually transition from being just a Web 2 player, somebody who's playing the game, just to without any connection to the blockchain, to get involved in the blockchain. So now that you own your Incarnate, it's yours. You can sell it on our NFT marketplace, which is close to being finished in development, or others, OpenSea. You can hold it, you can trade it, whatever. So just to kind of go back to what I talked about at the beginning, free-to-play system. There's no way to earn. Pay-to-earn economy. It costs money to get started. In Incarnate, you can play for free. You can earn as much as you want, but most importantly, you own your time. You can decide how you're going to spend your resources, and you can find that ownership that I think a lot of people wanted as I was growing up. So a little bit about roadmap. Campaign of Incarnate, there's this Black Pyramid that's appeared, and in phase 2, we're going to have this Destiny-like expansion of sorts. Black Pyramid is the first chance for people to earn Fate tokens and to get in these weekly PvE tournaments. In phase 3, we're going to open up our level builder to everybody and let them build their own strongholds. You'll form guilds with your friends, start these all-out guild wars, and all of this is going to be centered around land that's going to be owned by players. And so here's, I'll go briefly here because I don't want to run out of time, but some highlights of the team. This is just the core team. There's more. We've got Stu. I always like to highlight Stu. He was the 6th hire at the company that would become Blizzard. He worked on every title all the way up through World of Warcraft. The guy's amazing. I'm a founder that's involved in making every part of making the game: creative direction, storytelling, business development, writing code. I love doing it. It's the best. We've also got some amazing investors and partners. Just again, some highlights here. We've got AMG and their co-founders Action Powerbang helping us with the influencer marketing, and we're working with Josh Rubin, formerly head writer of Telltale Games. He's incredible, and actually, we're making a pitch to Netflix shortly for. It's kind of crazy for me to say, but for an actual TV show of Incarnate, we have 3 full-length movie scripts already written, basically. And then some little, a little bit about traction and where we're at. We've got 16,000 unique characters, tons of collectible cards, campaign levels and bosses that are in development. We're going to have this closed beta that's coming today. We'll do the NFT marketplace in Q3, and the fake public sales is slated for just before that. We're raising equity capital actually right now, and then we're going to be doing that will be $3 million in equity, and then we're doing an allocation in equity, and then we have an early investor round followed shortly after. Our comps are free-to-play hero collectors like Raid Shadow Legends, Fire Emblem Heroes, Genshin Impact, and these numbers are all based on gaining 400,000 daily active users, 600K daily trading of Incarnate NFTs in 2 years. Includes several $1 million of marketing, and so I always say, why invest now? Why get involved in what we're doing right now? It's really just we're designed for everything that Web3 gaming is all about. We're designed for trial and error, which means tons of forecasting and trading volume. It's a game that exists, is fun, and people are really excited about, and it's something that I think that we have this larger vision that's not just the game, but it's also for like I mentioned, Netflix and comics and stuff like that, and we have the people to do it. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Sean. Just on time. Opening the doors, opening the chat for judges.
Hi, Guy from Pulse Finance.
Hey, Guy.
I have, if you can back a bit, please, to the milestones.
To these guys, roadmap?
Yeah, the roadmap. So the idea is to first of all launch the token only after launch the game, or the opposite?
Yeah, so the strategy right now is that we have, like I said, we have for these primal incarnates, there are NFTs. We did like a small primal, I don't know, Genesis mint, I guess. We have about 2,000 of them out. Then everybody that has that and anybody that's been testing with us for a while, they're going to be getting involved in this closed beta. During that time, we're going to be refining the game, making sure that the economics are correct, and making sure rewarding the players that are getting involved now, driving up that hype and that FOMO, and then the plan is that shortly after that, essentially when the game is ready and the marketplace is ready and we have everything kind of ready, that's when we're going to say, okay, now we're going to be going into open beta. Here's our big mint. Here's the launch of the public fate token. And then we'll announce all these kind of, like, I didn't really even go over some of the three to five phases, but we'll announce a lot of these really interesting things like the land gameplay and these NFT death matches that I'm super excited about.
Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. I'm Amelia from Venture Capital. I'm curious how you're thinking about PvE versus PvP. We've seen kind of a number of games struggle with going over heavy on PvE and kind of it turning into farming. What's your kind of view of, since you're going PvE only to start, how are you going to prevent your kind of ecosystem from getting kind of overinflated?
For PvP, yeah. So the game design. I mean, I come from somebody I'm all about PvP in basically every game that I play. I was, top tier. I guess of course I'll say for World of Warcraft player, I was a competitive Hearthstone player, competitive Magic player. And so I'm all about that, right? That's been our main focus. The reason we went PvE first is because we want people to really engross themselves in the universe, and we found that that's the way to have players be sticky, is not just have them grind away at something where you don't really understand what's happening in the universe, you don't really care, and then when you're playing, it's a in the same way that League of Legends came out with their although their lore and their characters, and that's what really drew in a lot of people. It's kind of that same thing. So and then specifically to the design, we're focusing on making sure that the core elements of the characters are really strong and focused, and everything feels essentially OP. And then the shift to live PvP will actually come before the actual open launch. So when we launch open, it'll be PvE and PvP, not just PvE.
Got it. Thank you.
Hi, Hisham. This is Olivier from Outlier Ventures.
Hey,
I think you touched upon this as well. The main problematic with the existing play to earn is that there's not really sustainable demand for the token as soon as the amount of gamers stops growing. Just thinking about this from an investor point of view, how do you create sustainable demand for the Fate token, and also considering that you don't need to own any of the NFTs to get started? Again, they're what's the incentive for people to own these NFTs? And again, create a sustainable economy around that.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I think it's really important for us to, and this is something that we've really thought about, because my perspective on the way that my philosophy on the way I'm designing this is that it's almost more important to start to bring in the masses, right? So we're starting to see people you hear the word crypto or NFT on the news more often. It's really important to get lots and lots of people, and that's why I use this example at the very beginning of the this free to earn concept, right? It's really important to bring lots and lots of different people into this ecosystem, because right now we've got this big divide. We've got gamers, and then we've got Web3 savvy people, right? And they're not kind of splashing in the same pools. So what our design is okay, let's bring in as many people as we can, give them great incentives for the gameplay, great incentives for getting involved in the ecosystem. And then that demand will basically be driven by the fact that people, not the fact that people want to just flip, and earn some interest rate on holding Fate tokens. There will be people, of course, that will do that, but it will be driven by the players, by the volume of players that want to get involved in actually playing the game, boosting their characters, getting new skins for their characters, owning land, fighting in these NFT death matches, and risking everything to get really cool boosts to their characters. It's going to be driven by player mechanics, not just by investment mechanics.
Right. So, in a way, you're essentially fully relying on the game to be fun enough to draw people in, and people to stay. So
isn't that a little weird for a game to say? I feel like it shouldn't be, right?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I think that's what we should be moving towards. But it's just it's in a way it's a bit tricky to couple that with token incentives. I mean, just think about that more in terms of the team. Then do you have a track record of delivering successful games in the past, or do you have any numbers around that?
Yeah, here we go. Yes. So yeah, we've got Bjorn is our tech lead right now. He's 30+ years. He's got a successful NFT game that's running right now. Sean, yes. So the short answer is yes. We've partnered ourselves with people that have been in the industry for forever. Stu's actually, I keep coming back to Stu, but he's a perfect example. He's coming from Blizzard, coming from what they from ground up, what they built and why it worked. And we're surrounding ourselves with the people that I can't say that I've been in the industry for 30 years. I haven't been, but I've been working and I've been gaming since I was since forever. And obviously you think about how these things can work and should work. And so yeah, the core of what we're doing is building a great game. Like that's I think the value proposition that all these games should be presenting to people. And if they're not, then I don't think that they're going to last in the ecosystem. They're going to be something that comes in. They have a an okay NFT drop. They're gonna that's going to go to zero, and then they're going to have okay, well there's now there's more excitement because there's a token, and then that's going to go to zero, and then what are we left with? We're going to be left with a bunch of gamers that are basically what we have right now, which is a bunch of people that are not interested in getting into Web3 because they think that they're all rug pulls, or they're just something where it's just all about the economy and not about a fun game. So that's kind of like that's our ethos at Skeleton Hand. We're like, it's game first, play first, and then it'll be easy to maintain because people are going to be excited about staying in an ecosystem that has a Netflix show, or that has a really rich story that we spent way more time than maybe we needed to from a core gameplay standpoint.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. I think we are over time, but we are waiting for a video to come back with some issues with the internet. But just while we're waiting for him, anybody have any questions for Sean?
Yeah, I guess I'll jump in with just one more question. How do you see your target user? Like, who is that gamer? And yeah, how do you describe him or her?
We a lot of like MOBA gamers and TCG gamers have really gravitated towards it. Like so we have a growing Discord. We have 5,000 people or so in there, and it's basically it's a lot of that type of person, right? Somebody who's very into making builds, so like experimenting with different scenarios and different strategies and different team makeups. Obviously people that are interested in hero collectors. So the example I always give is Ratio Legends. We're partnered with a lot of their ambassadors actually, because they have kind of come over and they're really excited about getting involved in Incarnate. Hell Hades is a perfect example. He'll be streaming with me tonight. But yeah, so it's a lot of people that are interested in the gacha game, the hero collectors, but also people that are interested in like I said, MOBAs and TCGs. I guess I'll add one more thing before. I guess we have a little bit of extra time since I get to talk, and I really appreciate the extra time. One of the other things is that if you look in the market, you try to find a tactical strategy game. They're I mean, I won't say they're non-existent, but they're pretty tough to find, and it's kind of something that people my age remember. XCOM, Final Fantasy Tactics, games like this that really drew us in and held us for long hours without any notion of rewards or any notion of extra stuff. And we've really, of course I'll say this, but we've really captured the essence of the way that felt, that mixing and matching, that strategic, like that example of Axie Infinity, chess and Zeus mixing together. It's very compelling. It's very different. It's very, it's not something that we see on the market. And so it's also gonna I think we actually have a lot of chess players that have come, and so that's why we're going for the influencer ambassador market, because it's very popular, to be surprisingly popular, to be watched on Twitch and other streaming services.
Are you looking to then go to kind of the traditional gamer market and go after those players, or because you mentioned you're doing user testing, right? So I'm kind of curious if you're going after like the TCG market, like the Gods Unchained, even Axie Infinity, existing gamers, or are you trying to go outside of it? And so kind of what is then the channel to reach those gamers?
Yeah, so I guess I'll just tell you my game plan. Step one is basically get people that are at least a little bit crypto native. That's kind of the phase we're in right now. We're bringing them in, showing them that it's a really cool game, and that they do have the potential to own their time, own their characters. So that's kind of like phase one. But at the same time, we've been kind of like along the way, we've been working with Hell Hades, Ash Ring, these guys at AMG, to we're really just pitching traditional gamers when we're having those conversations. We're doing streams, and what we've found is that we are not getting the same kind of pushback that I think a lot of I guess these Web3 games are getting, because our focus, we keep coming back to this idea. It's like we're here to have a really fun game that, even if it had nothing to do with the blockchain, doesn't matter. Like that's what we're here to do. So yeah, it's kind of this two-phased approach. Step one, we're bringing in people that it's going to be easy for them to understand. Oh, gotcha, cool. I connect my wallet, I get a character, I bring it in, I can export one of my characters onto the blockchain, I can sell it and trade it with my friends, whatever. People that understand that, and then all this, at the same time, they're going to have friends that maybe are not Web3 native, but we're making it easy for them to make, not to say, okay, well, by the way, you need to get a bunch of ETH, you need to get a new, understand how wallets work and how to keep yourself safe and stuff like that. You don't need any of that stuff to get involved in that in Incarnate, but we allow you that on ramp because we're giving you resources like in game for free. Like you might as well do it. You're going to get you those seal fragments I mentioned, and then you're also going to be getting so it's good for your character. Like, it makes your character stronger to make them into an NFT.
Got it. Thank you.
I'm glad to head this event, and thanks Victor, and thanks to the judges and everybody. I've made this into a video. I just walk you through, and just keep in mind everything here you see is on chain, and it's purely in smart contract, and everything is portable. Okay, let me share my screen and start.
Yep, thanks.
Okay, I think now you can see it. Okay. Welcome on board Relation. Relation is a Web3 social graph builder and data value explorer. Our mission is to become the next generation of social graph infrastructure on Web3. Relation is developed by a dynamic and diversified team of more than 20 people. Most of us are developers who have rich experience in R&D projects in distributed systems, data processing, and blockchain. We developed the first graph database written in Rust and deployed on Watson on Divinity. It's called the Relation Graph, and it is the underlying core engine of Relation. As the basis for the construction of a global social relation graph, it supports multi-chain. Currently, users are supported to log in quickly through MetaMask, Internet Identity, and Polkadot. In the future, more wallet login portals from the public chain ecosystem will be integrated, making it easy for any crypto users to experience the Web3 social graph. Relation 1 is the social D app for Web3 users to easily manage the relationship data and get friends matching and interest recommendation services. We provide a private data space for each of the users to ensure 100% ownership of data. Our vision is one person, one private key, one data space, one data sovereignty, all in one. Its built-in one-stop social features include personal profile management, on-chain identity management, P2P chat, etc. User social data is authorized to the social graph through it. After adding multi-chain addresses, users will quickly get an exclusive Web3 personality tag. Users can get matching friends on chain and recommendations to form a user-centric visual Web3 social graph. Relation 1 is also a user acquisition tool for the apps to directly reach the potential users. And it is a sample display of our APIs and SDKs. All the new features will be presented on it first. The product is live now on Chrome Web Store. Welcome to search and download. We have built the Relation Link 2 suite to support all public chain apps and developers to quickly access Web3 social graph and modularly combine the social components like Lego. Our aim is to help developers quickly explore business opportunities, increase social attributes, improve user stickiness, and gain effective user growth in a cost-effective way. While for the open source relation APIs, modular social functionality components, and more tools to support them. Relation makes it easy to develop, test, and deploy for developers. Developers are not required to understand the underlying protocols, and contracts can be deployed efficiently with the help of our front-end templates, enabling low-code development. The Web3 social graph is just the beginning. We're building the next frontier. We will construct a common data market for all the Web3 natives to enable free data flow and support data-based decision makings. Firstly, we break the boundaries of public chains through the unified authentication. People can incorporate more addresses into the Web3 social graph by calling the wallet and verify the address by signing. And we further enhance the data sovereignty by enabling users to monetize the data. They can contribute their data to the marketplace and share the revenue. Our smart contract-based AI model will be supporting the data processing and decision-making to discover data value and make personalized Web3 experience. We are the template to empower Web3 natives. Relation community has formed the Web3 social graph already and has been growing rapidly in the past few weeks. We've provided a total of 25 plus TB data spaces for users and are subscribing for all the on-chain interactions. Trillions of gas burn daily to support user on-chain chats and connections. Our social graph supports a variety of applications such as NFTs, GameFi, BID, DeFi, etc. Want to see how it works? Let's go. This is a demo showing the integration between Relation and GameFi. This is a GameFi belonging to the trading card games. After Relation integration, it will have a series of functions based on relationships. The first to mention is the friend system. As Relation social graphs are stored on-chain, she can have access to a list of friends on-chain and fetch their avatars, IDs, names, and badges. She can chat with her friends, and of course, the messages can be sent directly to Relation 1. She can invite friends to compete directly and conduct peer-to-peer transactions using the exchange contract currently available. Meanwhile, to offer better GameFi experience, Relation will provide public chatting channels. And lastly, integrating Relation provides GameFi access to a friend's ranking. GameFi can have access to a friend's power ranking and winning list ranking. This can facilitate a better user strategy for GameFi operations. This is another demo showing the integration between Relation and NFT marketplace. In Access Market, the integration of Relation provides optimized experience by granting access to a series of functions. Users who enable stranger chatting can talk to sellers privately via Relation 1 to bargain. Relation allows the setting of price alert to quickly inform users about the price fluctuation of certain NFTs. We can support more DMs. Welcome to Reach Out for Corporations. Let's get the Web3 together.
Okay, the demonstration stop here, and thanks for watching.
Okay, thanks, Jessica. Nice presentation, right? Although you didn't really speak about it. Anyone want to ask any questions to Relation Labs?
Yeah, thanks, Jessica. This is Gabriel from Spartan. So in terms of like the first few applications that will be building on your social graph layer, could you talk a little bit about that?
You mean the first application, the relation one, right?
Yeah, on the social
Yeah, I
graph.
guess. Yeah, and any like third-party applications that will be building on the social graph.
Yeah, sure. We are working. We're building the middleware like Web3 social graph. It's decentralized and everything is portable and easy to be integrated and port the data to any apps that the user want to connect and play. So the very first version, the very first product is the relation one. We do that first. This is sample display, and we have built some social functionalities like the identity management and chatting and like the avatar display and also the DAO functions and ranking list and the contact list, of course. So our new experiment will be developed and displayed here first, and for the rest of the apps, for example, a GameFi who want to integrate with our chatting channels, they can just see how it works and see how it can connect together. And for the rest, we actually can support a lot of the apps, include the social fi, the apps I just showed, and also the NFT marketplace I showed, and also the DID, domain, content creator, etc., etc. And also, we are building a lot of tools to support the various apps. So, any DApp they want something new, something special, they can just contact us and we will create for them. Yeah. So our team is actually very strong experience in the techniques, and we are strong in building the wheels to support the chain. For example, for the on-chains, right? Currently, the blockchain don't have a database, don't have the storage on-chain storage space, and we just create it for them. Does that answer your question?
Got it. Yep. And in terms of the smart contracts and the data for what you guys are storing, is everything on Divinity, or how are you guys on building in terms of the technical architecture?
Good question. Yeah, this is very technical actually. Currently, because the definitive feature is that they have the data canister, right? So we just put in anything to the data canister at this moment, but because the space is quite limited, one canister contains 4 GB only. So for the users, it's enough now to store some contact list and chat messages. That's quite enough. But for the graph database we have already deployed is limited. So we have the scale up strategy that we make it distributed in terms of architecture, and also we have other strategies like we just keep the meta data in the data canister, and the details we have cooperation with Cross and going to have cooperation with the other storage service providers to put the details in the in Cross, for example. Yeah, and also we have the backup layer to store the anything code data permanently there. So that's our 3-layer scale up strategy for the storage.
Thank you, gentlemen. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, share screen. Thanks.
This is okay, right? Or do I need to make it a full screen?
No, it's okay. Go
Okay.
Great.
Okay. My pleasure to be here. And hello, everyone. Again, this is Asko from GoPlus Security Engine. And what is GoPlus trying to do is to make everyone's security tool. And we positioning ourselves as a security data layer in Web3, and by providing an open, permissionless, user-driven security detection platform. So this is three part I want to present today. First is most about the problem and we've seen and the general idea why we're trying to solve it. And second is to introduce about who we are, what we do. And third part is about some current development. Sorry, there was some typo, and roadmap. So here's the thing. I mean, we have been read a lot of the threatening stories, like saying there were some big project getting hacked or fraud in Web3 in the last period. Like just taking 2021 as example, their data recorded like from 10.5 billion to 15 billion from different report, from elliptic, TRM, channel analysis. That was like according to 4 to 5% of the DeFi TVL. And even worse is on the ordinary user side, there is no statistic because you don't know how much it happened. And it obviously was causing a long-term injury to the whole system because that was like directly hurt to the current user and stop like the new user coming in. And if you look at all these risky issues happened in every chain or different type of the dApps ecosystem, I mean, there's no exception, which means all the chain, they have different problem. And especially the one like in DeFi and NFT nowadays, like you have lending, DEX, derivatives, cross-chain breach. You have heard all different kind of the similar stories, like in getting and hundreds of millions of risk. And more happened like for daily user. I mean, as I said, you don't have a number for that even. But if it takes the crypto security as industry, the thing is the big problem is there's no so many choice to prevent it, because like the most common solution we are having today for Web3 is like the Web2 type of the service as audit firm doing. So that is basically like for the project team would coming to them and pay for use. But even for that, you don't have enough resources, because it's very common nowadays for a project team to wait for like 3 months, 6 months, or even longer time to getting all the report. Even that report is just for one-time shot for their coding. I mean, every project team, they all update their code afterwards. That's another issue. And another side, even worse for the ordinary user. I mean, we have different kind of the risk scenario, like from thief, phishing website, rag pull, airdrop scam, token approve, and those things can also, you know, could be combined together each other. But the thing is, there's no solution for them. What you can do after you get thieved? Go to the FBI. I mean, I don't think that's a good solution. So if we take the security issue as two sides for attacker and defender, I would say nowadays it's so easy for attacker to make money, and there's like no one know how to stop them, you know. And so this is also what GoPlus trying to provide, this open permissionless user-driven security data service, because we're trying to enhance the ability of the risk detection from all different perspectives. And we're trying to provide the security service to ordinary user. I mean, again, to everyone who could use it. And by doing that, we also need to make sure the security service that was constantly providing the dynamic and decentralized approach, because Web3 is changing dramatically from day to day. And also the last thing we think is we need to provide effective, attractive, and incentive to more people to participate in the security world as a defender. So this is what we do. So simply to say, we made the thing we call the detection node. So we have the automatic detection function. We also have the manual detection function, which later we will organize a security DAO to deal with some long-tail security problem. And by doing that, we are detected on complete dynamic and automatic security service for Web3, like including the token security API, AML, NFT security, the contract security, real-time risk warning, and also a safety ecological layer. And the way we're doing that is very simple. It's just that we are providing a security API by collecting all this data and to reform that into the API and export it to different kind of third-party partners like wallet, like security service from someone and from data aggregator or like the decentralized exchange in different chains. And by providing that, we don't, choose which chain we are going to deploy. It's like the choice of user. But now we are supporting basically all the EVM compatible chains from Ethereum, BNB chain, Phantom, Avalanche, Polygon, Arbitrum, and soon will be Metis and zkSync after they launch their mainnet, of course. And we will also support non-EVM chains like the Rust language or even Carol with the Stucknight. And you can easily find the use case in our website, which is gopluslabs.io. And on our website, you will see all the infrastructure there. You could just copy paste some address of the token, and later an NFT and contract that you just copy paste and detect it. You get the result you want for evaluation of the safety. And more cases is like we had many cases integrated our security API, like as I said, from the wallet to the data aggregation, data aggregator to some even launchpad later, hardware wallet, or different kind of the third-party portal, which is protecting user from their own perspective in different ways. And our token economy is also built on this infrastructure, on this whole mechanism. So simple to say, we will reward from the people who trying to submit the security request, like the one who want to detect it if this token or contract has some problem. And most 90% of the problem will be taken care of by our automatic detection, but there still will be some long-tailed service, like it could be rise a bounty in our ecosystem, and that could be sold by our hunter node, and the hunter node will also be validated by our validator node. So all the validated data will go back to our database and go to the API, and finally go to the API subscriber, which we call it the broadcast node. So different nodes, they will need to stake in our token to be the part of that. And as long as there are more people will subscribe for our security data service, our token has more value. And, we trying to attract more people to be part of the decentralized new security infrastructure. And in the following, I just trying to show you some data we gained in the last 2 months, because most of the things mainly happened in the last 2 months. We just opened our security API in the end of January, actually the last day of January. And before that, we only have our own wallet. Like daily, we have around 3,500 data call every day. But now we had more than 600,000 data call per day from all different kinds of third parties. And also very interesting, we got nearly 200,000 independent IP taking our API, which is quite exciting because those smart people are utilizing our security data in different formats. Some we know, some with even not coming to our ideas. And those also the token we have been detected on different chains. And you can see, I mean, why we detected all this token is not like we decided, it's the user who send the request and they get the result. And at the same time, they are also the contributor to our security infrastructure there.
Axel, maybe you can wrap it up
Yes.
because you already passed the time. Can you wrap it up?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I need to stop
just wrap,
sharing that?
just wrap it up. Yeah, just wrap it up. If anything you have.
Sorry. Yeah, okay. I think that's basically all I want to present. So in the following times, we just want to finalize our product and trying to open that to more public chains and to integrating with more partners. And in the end of the year, we hope our security APIs cover all different chains, wallet, data aggregation to protect the Web3 users. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Axel. Opening the floor to the judges for question.
Hello, thank you for the presentation. I'm curious how you treat algorithmic risk, and with respects to there's been a lot of hacks where there's nothing necessarily wrong with the code itself, but the way kind of certain like Oracle interactions get exploited, the pools get drained, right? And so, do you have a way for tracking those vulnerabilities?
Yeah, actually, as a presentation, I presented, there are actually multi-function trying to do that because we are also trying to cover multi-dimension risk here, like from the token, from the contract, and that was like reviewing from the code. And the code is also, changing from time to time. So our mechanism is one thing different from audit service, like we are open to everyone. So as long as one person trying to detect it, either the token or contract, so the result will be refreshed. So it's like keeping a way to have a dynamic checking on each of the project. And on another side, we will also launch a new function called real-time risk warning. I mean, take token security as an example, because like on token, you also have a lot of tricks like honeypot, or like you have, I mean, only regarding on honeypot, you have hundreds of ways to doing that because you could modify the text. You could having some hunting wheel function. You could have a possible trading function, or you could have a white blacklist. So this is all the like the checking atoms we going to detect it. And that's from the coding side, as I said, as long as some people trying to detect it, we will refresh the result. And another function called the real-time risk warning was the function like we are monitoring on each of the protocol, like the token, if there are any changes there. For example, if the ownership was changed, or if they are changing their tax or salary, or like they are trying to pull back some liquidity, we will sending alert to the user who subscribe on that.
Got it. Thank you.
Just sorry, Jen, you can go first.
Thank you. This is Gen from Animoca Brands. Thank you for your presentation. Can you talk a little bit about your background or the background of your team with respect to your experience in the security industry?
Yeah, sure. Okay, our team, actually, the founder, I was a co-founder responsible for all the fundraising business part, but the founder, who is Mike Lee, who is an early member in 360, which is Qihu Security, which is the largest security company in China. And he was working in 360 like from 2010 to 2014. And the Qihu Security is famous to provide the customer-based security service in China, especially covering each of the PC and the mobile phone back to that time. And most of the tech and the product team, I mean, the main product manager, half of them actually is from this Qihu Security, like back to the days. And some of them is coming from Ali Cloud. Actually, they are responsible for the backend and database, and they have rich experience in cloud. And many of them had working in like a central exchange for the quantitative trading. And I had a serious entrepreneur experience, like to funding an edge cloud company and IoT company. And this is like my third project for myself. And we also have currently we have around 30 people. 20 of them is, most of them is a developer product team, and around 8 of them was a marketing and the partnership team distributed all around the world, from United States, Turkey, Nigeria, and Singapore.
Thank you very much.
Just a quick one from me as well. I don't have a technical background, so like a lot of the stuff that you explained, like it went over my head. But just like as a general understanding of like what you're doing, does your product prevent fraud or rather detect fraud? And then secondly, looking at, for example, the Axie hack that happened, I think it was last week on the Ronin Bridge, where essentially the private key that was stored within the majority of the nodes was exploited. Would that be something that could be prevented using your product?
Yeah, okay. Thank you for the question. The thing is, I want to present it in this way. there is no 100% safety in the world, whatever in Web3 or Web2 in reality world. So the thing we are trying to do is it's very hard to predict, like which hacker want to do some bad thing. That is impossible for us to do. But what we can do is we try to detect it, all different kind of the risk from different dimension. And we trying to figure it out. Even some phishing website, this is not even on-chain problem. So we figure it out and we trying to broadcast that to everyone by identifying what they are doing and trying to alert our user to avoid it of that. Or in another way, I think it doesn't make sense to make a service like a police station. Once you're getting hacked, it's so hard to tracking back. But what we are trying to do is we're trying to provide a private guard. And that is a service to everyone, because nowadays you can only find the service, to project team or to big finance institution, and what they're doing behind is totally black box. And our way is so simple. We just are collecting all the information on blockchain, all the risky things, and we organize that and export our API to protect the people. And regarding on your example, I'm not sure if we could really prevent it. But the thing is, once we got the immediate, message about that, we will immediately inform all the people who having our service. So they probably could be the first group of people to be avoid of that.
Understood. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, all the judges, this is Blair from Doge Adventure, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to present it. Okay. Doge Adventure is...
Could you maximize the screen? Is it possible for you to max the screen?
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Doge Adventure is a blockchain game incubated by X Protocol and provides community support and full 3D game scenes for the Doge Adventure to develop on. The game combines Doge meme elements and NFT random fusion concept. The users can earn profits and collect precious NFT collectibles by casting fusions, researching the strategies, exploring, and battling. Our long-term goal is to create a DAO that can provide secondary expansion solutions for all NFT projects. And I will present by the 3 dimensions that are showing on the screen. There are 3 core tokens that consist the entire game economy. First of all, the Doge NFT, which serves as the core productive assets within the game. All the game behavior relies on this NFT to gain income. And secondly, DT is the native token of this game, serving as the play to earn income of this game. It's the necessity assets for summoning or fusing Doge NFT or other game props. There exists a hard cap and soft deflation system in DT, which is also relevant to the circulating supply of Doge Adventure. SPS is the stable coin within the game, which is similar to the golden coin in the traditional game. Users can use it to purchase ordinary game props. The reason why we built Doge Adventure is that we see a lot of NFT projects over this year, but 90% of them are in severe lack of liquidity. When the hype or FOMO atmosphere of this project returns to normal, or even the fear, it is almost impossible for users to sell these NFT regardless of the offer price. We regret to see the fact that the NFT would go to waste for the liquidity reason. So hence we are trying to figure out the gamified solution for NFT projects, as well as integrate them into the Doge Adventure ecosystem. Well, in this way, these mature NFT projects with brands and traffic may again boost their liquidity and energy. The acquisition of Punk by BAYC and the DAO issuance of the Ape coin for the metaverse and game building proves what Doge Adventure doing right now is of urgent need to most NFT projects. Speaking of the Doge Adventure itself, the development has already entered the stage where users can catch the dogs in the play-to-earn game in the X Metaverse to earn the Doge NFT airdrop, and then walk the dog in the Metaverse. When the Doge Adventure game launches, users can use the Doge NFT to conduct adventure mining to earn the income. They can also choose to battle with others to gain higher income. And what's more for you to know, there are 3 kinds of rarity level of Doge NFT. Users may pay DT to fuse 2 Doge NFT or win the battle to obtain a more precious one. Meanwhile, to build a strong community and also to maintain the long-term development of the project, we set up a treasury mechanism where the holders of the Doge Adventure NFT can share like 50% of the treasury income. And that will be my presentation. And due to the precise economy design, we are not able to share all of them in a limited time. And please do contact us for detailed info. Thanks a lot.
Right, thanks, Blair. You are one of the quick ones. Okay, great. I'm not sure if anybody have any questions for her. Feel free to shoot.
Yeah.
Hi. Please, Ilya.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of curious what stage of development you're at right now and how long you've been building this.
How long we have been building this? We started this project like 4 months ago, and as if I have mentioned it earlier, this project is incubated by X Protocol. X Protocol is a metaverse project that has already running for more than a year, and the metaverse scene is already launched and runs smoothly. The Doge Adventure has been launched for 4 months, and the stage is where all the dogs NFT are already designed and issued as NFT, and we are about to launch the NFT mint for the users to experience the early stage. And the current stage is users can walk them as a 3D model in the metaverse, but the battle or the fusion part is still under development. So this is very early.
Got it.
Okay, hi Jen.
Thank you for your presentation. This is Gen from Animoca Brands. Can you talk a little bit about the team and their experience in game development?
Okay. So basically, we gained a strong technical support from the X Protocol team. They are specialized in the 3D model building and also the game design. They have a strong team of the model building, consists of 10 more person, as well as the game development. The game development team are from the Tencent company. If you know, yeah, they have built the a renowned app game from the Tencent game company, and then we have invited them to join us. The game team consists of more than 5 people. And as for the blockchain space part, the team is based mostly in Singapore, Canada, as well, and also the US and London. They are all experienced experts in the contract writing as well as the Rust language. The technical team consists of 5 Rust engineer as well as front end as well as back end engineer.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, Guy from Pulse Finance here. You spoke a bit about X Protocol and the mechanism that you build between both companies, but at the end you're aiming to use, if I understand, the Doge ecosystem. Did you already start to work on this funnel? Do you have any connection with the Doge team?
Do you mean by the ecosystem development with the outside projects?
Regarding the marketing side, the funnel of including
Okay.
the Doge ecosystem, I guess this is the most value that you try to bring at the end, using the existing ecosystem of Doge and convert them to use your own project. So did you try to work on the process? Do you have a relationship with Doge?
Basically, we have a deep cooperation with them, but Doge Adventure is an independent project running by a experienced marketing team as well as technical team. But we do get a lot of help from X Protocol.
Hello everyone, my name is Wei Chen. Today I will introduce you the search engine for Metaverse. Let's start. First of all, let's talk about surfing the Metaverse. The Metaverse is a part of the next generation web, but can we surf the content like what we surf the web? Let's see how we do that. For example, today I want to do a virtual tour around the world using Metaverse. What should I do? I may first go to Google, look for travel. It's not the virtual tour I want. Then I just look for travel Metaverse. No. Then I search for virtual world. I found a Decentraland. I directly go to Decentraland and see whether there's any virtual tour of the world I can do. Go
Hey,
into the
Vision,
platform.
just a quick
Yes.
Vision, just to temporarily stop you. Can you share your screen so that people here can actually look what you are sharing?
Oh, sorry. My bad. Sorry,
No
I
worries, no worries.
forgot about that.
Yeah, because it's the first time doing this. Please share the screen so that everyone here and the judges can see where you're speaking. Thank you.
All right. Can you see my screen? Can you see
No,
my
not
screen
yet.
now?
Now it's coming up.
Okay, it is.
Yep.
All right. Sorry. Let's.
Yeah. Yes, you can start
Look
again.
at the
No
video
problem.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I want to do a virtual travel around the world using the Metaverse, what should I do? I first go to Google, look for travel. It's not all articles. I cannot find the virtual tour. And then I look for travel Metaverse. Still, it's a lot of articles. And then I directly look for virtual world. I find there's Decentraland. There's some platform. I directly go to those Metaverse platform, look for Decentraland, go there to see whether I can find any attractions virtually. But it's too big. I don't know what to do. I look at the map, still cannot find any virtual tour. And then I switch to another platform, Creepy Voxel. It has a search bar. Okay, I search for travel. No, nothing there. I search for journey. Still nothing. Then I'll give up because the whole process, the experience is not easy for an ordinary user. But comparing to the web, it has tons of billions of websites, web pages, but I can still find anything I want, any place, because I can use search engine to do that. In Metaverse today, we have a lot of things there. We have buildings, we have virtual human, we have assets, we have virtual attractions, and we have games. But without search engine, it's very hard to find things that I'm interested in. That's why we are doing ADOT. It is a search engine for Metaverse. It's an engine for Metaverse. See, this is a video about the system. So it can aggregate all the content from different platforms. See, if I want to look for travel, I will see the buildings from different platforms. I will see the digital arts related to that. And also I can visually see those 3D things on the right, on the island about travel. I can click on any of them. look at the attractions and their VRs. Then I see, okay, this is a waterfall, which I'm interested in. I can directly go to the virtual tour there. I can just visit it virtually. And I mean, this is an easy way to find the things. And then I find the place in Crypto Voxel. That's a good place for travel. It's a beach. I can go to the beach, sit there, and watch those like virtual tour video. It's relaxing. Let's skip that. And even the ADOT can record your memory. I mean, it can organize the memory for you. You can know everywhere you have been to, the places, the arts you are interested in, the dialogue you had with your friends, and even the people you have met with. And it's the digital thing of your memory. You can easily search them, see what the NFT I've been interested in. I can see all the NFTs I have visited. And you can easily share your digital memory to the Facebook or Twitter. See, I can easily share them to my friend. So it's compatible with all the platforms. I mean, in the future, it will be compatible with all the platforms like Crypto Voxel, Sandbox, those Decentraland. So that's the ADOT search engine. And we are doing more than that. Like we will combine the search and recommendation technique that the system will know exactly at each moment what you want. So it can connect you to the things that's happening in the metaverse, everywhere in the metaverse. It can connect you to the real world and the web content you are interested in at that moment. And also you can personalize the metaverse any way you want. See, I can build an island of Winter Olympics, and everything about the Winter Olympics will be put to this island automatically. You can invite your friends there, you can play games, you can watch videos about the Winter Olympics. All right, so the search engine for metaverse, it is the right time and it's the right thing to do for the metaverse at the right time. Because if we compare the metaverse timeline with the web timeline, we can see that 2022, it is like the 1994 for web. It is a time when the search engine will come out. And then 2 years from now, the metaverse search engine will be widely used by ordinary users. And 5 years from now, the war of search engine will come to an end. And there will be, say, 3 to 4 search engines survive. Right now, there are many teams doing the search engine for metaverse, but they are doing Kayak for metaverse. They are doing AdMob for metaverse. They are doing Elasticsearch for metaverse, but nobody's doing Google for metaverse. That's what we are doing. And last, a little bit about myself. I've been working in the search engine area for 17 years. During my PhD study, I owned the first place in the world's biggest competition conference in search engine area. I'm a former Google engineer. I was one of the first members in the mobile search team. We did things like Google mobile search, the search ads, the Play Store search and recommendation system, and the AdMob, so the advertising system. All right, that's all about my presentation. So one sentence for ADOT. It is a Google for metaverse.
Thanks,
thank you all.
Izung, for your excellent presentation. The judges, you open the floor for the judges to ask any questions if they have. You can unmute yourself and put a camera if you have. Any questions so far for the project? Yeah, you can. Thanks.
Great. Hi, this is Gen from Animoca Brands. Thank you very much, Wei, for the presentation. My question is this. Obviously, from your Google days, you know that the web is an open platform which allows search engines to crawl the content and create the database that we can then search. With metaverses, they're all different platforms. There's no common hyperlink that can be searched. There's no common different languages are being used to create these. How do you propose to search different metaverses together when each metaverse is sort of like its own? I mean, it is its own application at this time.
Right. Yeah, that's a very good question, because for the web, the link between, I mean, they're linked, they're connected. So links between those web pages are very important. So today the metaverse, they are open because I can use a link to any buildings in the metaverse platform. But the key technique is that whether I have a universal solution that can crawl everything in the metaverse platforms, no matter what engines you use, and then organize them together and search for that. That's actually what we have done right now. We have, you can think that as a crawler for metaverse. Like, no matter you are CryptoVoxel, you are Decentraland, or you are Sandbox, we have a crawler that can walk in those metaverse like human beings, and then collect data and make them to be a structured data, and then let user find them. So we have that technique right now. That's the difference between us and something else like other teams.
So you create a crawler per metaverse or per application? Is that?
You can think that as per engine.
Right.
Like if you use Unity engine or you use Babylon engine, we fit into any engine. So it's like one solution for each engine, because there will be unlimited platforms 10 years from now. But the engine, you will have I don't know, 10 or 20 animals. That's like what Google does. Google doesn't fit any websites. It has a universal. Yeah.
Okay. And then, okay, thank you very much.
Hi, Wei. I'll jump in. I enjoyed your presentation. This is Stephen from Polygon. I was just wondering what part of the data search is on-chain data versus application data, and are you going to be cross-chain initially, or are you building on EVM chains to begin with? That's the first question. The second question is, what economic model do you have? Is there a token associated with this?
To be honest, we just started. So for the token economic, I'm still discussing that with my team. But right now for the demo, we are storing that still on centralized database. But we're considering that to move the data to the chain, store our data to the chain. Right, but that's a question I cannot fully answer right now. Sorry about that. But I'm still discussing that with my team. We will have a solution very soon.
Okay, and then where you're gathering your data currently over different metaverses, can you do that across all blockchains at the moment, or will it be starting off on certain ones like Ethereum or Polygon?
Yes, I mean cross chains. That's still. I mean that's similar technique. There are already solutions because if you look at the teams, some people are doing that. See the graph, for example, they are doing that. We can also do that. That's some technique we can easily integrate into this. Our search engine.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other questions from the other judges? If it's not, maybe we can get some of the participants here. I mean, at the end of the day, we can ask some questions, but I'll limit to 1 minute for any of the participants here to ask some questions about the project to Basil.
Well, I'll ask one more then. What's your, you said it's quite new. What's your timeline that you're looking to build out this project, have a live product, things like that?
Yeah, because we are raising the first round of capital right now. So we plan to use the first capital to do this project, and we will launch that by the end of this year. I mean, we have something that user can use.
Okay.
Thanks, Steven. Jonathan, you raise your hand. Maybe you can unmute. Yes.
Hi, Tom. This is Jonathan, one of the
Hey,
other
Jonathan.
participants. Just had a question around community building. What is your plan to build a community around your project? Thanks.
Yes, that's we have some members who are familiar with those community building. We have a PM, product manager. We are still planning that. I think after using my current plan is that after raising the first round of capital, we will use the money. Use the money to develop the technique, and also we will open a community. We'll build a community for this search engine at that time. So it will not be very long.
Hey guys, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, great. I'm Jonathan, and Lonesome Shark is a flash loan liquidation protection platform built by borrowers for borrowers. DeFi is exploding. Banks, companies, and even governments are using it. DeFi has much to offer when it comes to improving the quality of our lives. It can provide universal access to basic finance for the unbanked, reduce unemployment, create new opportunities, even pay for university fees and medical expenses. But currently, less than 3% of the world population is on it. That is why our mission is to increase user adoption to DeFi by using flash loans and automation in order to minimize liquidation risk. Our goal is to onboard 100 million users onto DeFi. One of the biggest problems in DeFi today is market volatility, which can lead to borrowers losing a portion of their collateral due to liquidations. From a study conducted last year of 4 major lending protocols, Maker, Aave, Compound, and DYDX, borrowers lost a total of $63.6 million due to liquidations, and this number is only increasing. In the past 6 months alone, Aave reported that they saw $35.5 million in liquidation penalties. One of the key factors to increasing user adoption is the user experience. That is why for our solution, we focused on building something simple and functional. Simple because our onboarding process is just 3 simple steps. Because our target audience are mainstream borrowers, we chose to focus on the monitoring and repaying functionality. You'll see our Zen mode as I walk you through the user flow in upcoming slides. How it works is that your health score will be monitored around the clock by Chainlink keepers. When your health score hits its liquidation threshold and gas limit that you set is within range, the Aave Flash Loan smart contract will kick in, and then part of your loan will then be repaid in order to boost your health score. Let's see this in action. We are integrated with Aave. The Aave assets you have allowed to be used as collateral are highlighted here in green, in this case, Aave and Link. You set your desired liquidation threshold and the maximum gas limit you're willing to pay for the transaction. The first MetaMask window that you see here is for fees to set up the flash loan. And here at the bottom in black is our Zen mode. Once you have chosen the collateral you want to use, the second step is to allow us to use that collateral to repay your loan. And only those collateral that you have enabled to be used as collateral in your Aave dashboard will be here highlighted in pink. In this case, it's Aave and Link. There will be a progress bar shown here on the 3rd tab. And you'll get 3 MetaMask pop-ups. The first is to give permissions to access your link. The second is for the funds to the upkeep registry on Chainlink. And the third is to start the monitoring process. On the history tab, you can see information from past transactions, from transaction fees to how much collateral you received back. There are three key opportunities. The amount of liquidations are rising. There are limited solutions available for borrowers today, and those in the market can be costly and serve a different audience. 85% of the lending market is dominated by Maker, Aave, and Compound. That leaves 15% of the market untapped. For our business model, we took inspiration from A16Z's progressive decentralization playbook. As you'll see on a later slide, there are three stages: the early, growth, and later. As we are still in the early stage, we don't quite know what our business model looks like yet, but these are some of the methods for monetization that we have explored. We want to focus on finding product market fit before launching a token. We do not want to be stuck in a situation where we're launching utility tokens even before the network has been built. Having said that, when we are ready for token allocation, we want to mirror that of three public blockchains: Ethereum, Tezos, and Cosmos. These are their token allocations that you see on this slide. We're looking for pre-seed investment or grant of 150 to 250K. We plan to spend 60% of it on core development and testing. 30% of it will go to cover the relevant operation costs, and the remaining 10% will be for community participation. As we built it in a week during the ETH Online Hackathon last year, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. In the short term, our goal is to achieve network effects. In the long term, our goal is to find financial sustainability. We want to reach a point where the community is sufficient enough to run without the core team. And in the even longer run, our goal is to achieve true decentralization. Control is given back to the community, and decisions are made via a governance process. All active contributors are well compensated. I've been working in the tech industry for 17 years. I built 2 startups and a nonprofit. I've been in crypto since 2019, and I love people. My partner Fabricio has been working in Web2 as a software engineer for the past 3 years. He did the architecture and loves to code. We're both passionate about DeFi. We're both based in Singapore, and our dream is to be able to work in crypto full-time. So in summary, liquidations are rising at an increasing rate. In the market today, there are limited solutions available to protect borrowers, but DeFi having a TVL as of today is $77.18 billion. There is plenty of opportunities for everyone. We have a running demo live on deployed on Goldman testnet at lonesomeshark.xyz. So feel free to check it out. And if you want to see our demo at ETH Online last year, that is a link on this slide. Thank you very much, and happy to take questions.
Hey, thanks, Jonathan.
Sure.
I think I'll let the judges to ask some questions if there's any.
Jonathan, this is again from Animoca Brands. Thank you for your presentation.
Okay.
I guess my question is do you see your platform, in the future being a service on its own, or do you see it potentially integrated with other platforms, sort of as a feature of other platforms?
Great question. Until we have achieved network effects and found product market fit, I guess at this point, our core focus would be to integrate with other lending platforms across different chains. Of course, if we have shown that there's enough community supporting the project and there's enough utility in the token and there's actual value, definitely through a governance process, it's definitely possible to spin off into our own platform and protocol.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Hi, Jonathan. Thanks for the presentation. When you're expecting to go live, and are you going to be cross-chain initially, or are you expecting to launch on Ethereum first?
Well, we're currently deployed on Ethereum testnet, and the plan for the end of this year, once we get the funding, is to launch to layer 2. So for now, it'll just be strictly Ethereum. In the future, don't know, but for now, Ethereum.
Okay. Thanks. And do you see that, like, have you spoken to other DeFi partners on on Ethereum and other layer 2s? And like, have you begun any discussion around partnerships?
Oh yes, great question. We spoke with Aave a number of times. We spoke with MakerDAO a couple of times, and the Aave's advice was to find a differentiating factor between. So the two major players for the liquidation protection space for borrowers are DeFi Saver and Gelato Networks, and their advice was to find a way to differentiate ourselves from them, which are currently working on our USP at the moment. And for MakerDAO, their advice was to look at their layer 2 roadmap and work very closely with that, because they'd be very interested in partnering when they launch layer 2, which will happen sometime in the near future.
Thanks.
Sure.
Thanks very much.
Hey, Jonathan. This is Gabriel from Spartan Capital.
Hey, Gabriel.
So, just curious, beyond lending protocols, do you guys also plan to, integrate with, for example, like perpetual trading protocols where there is liquidations involved as well? And, yeah.
Certainly, that is a possibility. As of right now, because of all the smart contract exploits that you read about, and we are looking to integrate with the more established players, such as MakerDAO, Compound, and Aave. Although that is not to say that we are not open to the opportunity to partner with other DeFi protocols as well, if the opportunity arises. Yeah, so it'd be great to have those kinds of discussions.
Got it. Thank you.
Thanks.
I'll add in one thing, right? I think I'm also part of the community here. Jonathan, I saw your deck just now. I was also wondering, right? You guys on testnet. Why don't you just start to deploy a mainnet and test it?
Well, I mean, test and prod is definitely one approach that we could take. The other approach is that given the smart contract exploits and attacks that we read so much about, we're going through an audit process too, and we just want to make sure that things are. We do believe that we still want to test sufficiently and adequately, so we are doing that. But before we actually launch to mainnet or layer 2, we do want to make sure that our smart contract has been properly audited before we do that. So that is one of the reasons why we haven't launched to mainnet or layer 2 yet. Yeah.
Sure. So thank you, Huobi, for hosting this demo day. Nice to meet you, judges, and everyone else, projects, of course. So I think I'll just directly share my screens and explain to you a little bit of what we're doing.
Yes.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I want to explain to you guys a little bit about what we're doing. Our project's named Metabase. And Metabase is actually an application that empowers players and investors to participate in the player and gaming industry, and hence also becoming a distribution channel for game-seeking players. And our goal is to become a constant bridge for players to enter the metaverse and extrapolate value out. So the big question is, for emerging markets, we don't really know whether those people actually understand cryptocurrency. And so what we're trying to solve is that try to reduce the friction for non-blockchain users to access player in games. And we do that by eliminating the interaction of cryptocurrency wallets through the usage of our off-ramp services. And we believe that the path to mass blockchain adoption in emerging markets actually lies in the intersection of gaming and off-ramp services. As you can see, gaming actually tops its usage dominance across the industry, accounting for 52% of the decentralized applications usage. And within the Axie Infinity ecosystem alone, there are 2 million active players on a daily basis, generating over $2 million every single day. And according to a recent survey held by YGG, a total of 86% of the survey respondents actually stated that playing blockchain games and earning rewards in the form of cryptocurrencies was actually their first time earning or using crypto. So I want to introduce you guys to the two of the apps that we're actually developing right now. The first one is the web application that we're building for guilds or managers, and the mobile dashboard that we're building for players. So both of them actually allows the parties to track their performance and earnings. And we will introduce off-ramp services for those people that are in emerging markets that perhaps don't really understand about how to manage cryptocurrency wallets. So the current method for players to rent assets is too complex, because let's say if you're a player, you would want to join a guild to render assets. The first thing you would need to do is actually look up in Google one of the top guilds that are currently renting out assets. The second step is to actually join their Discord group. And the third step is to actually go on an interview where you would actually either qualify or not qualify. So that lengthy process usually takes 1 to 2 weeks. Whereas in Metabase, I'll show you a little bit of like what we're trying to solve and how it becomes faster and more convenient for players to join other guilds. So, oh wait, excuse me. I'll just share my YouTube so that you guys can see the demo that we're formed. Okay, so this is the application, mobile application version that will be used for players. I'll just play it. So we cut down the steps into 3 simple steps. Basically, they just register, putting out their information. And then they would need to actually sort of like answer this questionnaire, where we want to screen them to ensure that they've actually previously been an avid gamer, to make sure that the guild actually hit the return on investments when they deploy capital towards NFTs. And that process itself takes only 25 seconds, so guilds can directly pick a game that they want to play, renting assets from guilds. And here they would need to do KYC if they want to withdraw their earnings from tokens into fiat currency. You can actually pick the Axie sets that they want to play with from different guilds that will be provided by the guilds. Here they can actually solve their Axies if they don't find it compatible with their style of gameplay. And they can actually have a referral invitation code where they can invite players that they feel confident will earn consistently, so that they can actually earn 2% of what they've actually earned. And we'll be introducing a chatting feature in which guilds can conveniently chat their players, and players can do the same towards guilds. And this is the wallet page. This is where all the withdrawal will be done. And global players can actually withdraw directly through cryptocurrency. And for players in emerging markets, we actually offer, starting from Indonesia, the off-ramp services to their e-wallets, such as GoPay, Ovo, which are practically the ones that they'll be using on a daily basis. So that's it for the mobile dashboard that will be used for players. I'll show you guys what we're trying to build for guilds. And for the guilds themselves, we're actually building a web version, which they can actually manage their earnings, assets, as well as their players. So I'll just walk you through the video really quickly. they need to sign in and register with their email and full name. You can actually form your own guild. So this doesn't happen to organizations as guilds, so it can be anyone with assets basically forming their own guild. And this is the earnings dashboard where they can track most of the data generated by the players. And this is where the guilds will be able to chat their players. So if they want to deposit, let's say they want to run an asset on X Infinity, this is where they have to press activate the dashboard. And they can see actually game-specific data sets. So they can see how long it would take for them to get the return on investment based on the projected earnings that have been generated throughout the entire lifespan of players within their guilds. And this is where they will be able to track the players individually, the earnings. That is where we actually distribute and claim the earnings of the players automatically. And that's where the information of the players are. I'll just speed up the process. So basically, we want to try to automate the payouts for the guilds, and then they can track the players one by one. Replacing them with new scholars efficiently. And there will be waiting lists, general waiting lists, that they can see the questionnaire, the answer to the questionnaire of each player that's applied from the mobile application. Accept it directly. So if they want to onboard the assets, they'll sort of like have to either bulk send it on the application, or they can actually add in one by one as well. Yep. I think that's pretty much it from our web dashboard. So basically, we want to complement guilds with an automated system in order to pay out their players efficiently. They can track the performance of the players, they can monitor the performance of the players, as well as basically onboarding their assets into one single ecosystem. So our task is that to tackle emerging markets in Indonesia initially, because we understand that 80% of Indonesians are actually gamers, but only less than 5% actually owns cryptocurrency or nevertheless understand them. So we really want to target that sort of like market by introducing gaming and off-ramp services. So I think that's pretty much for me.
Thanks, Yuan.
Any good questions?
Thanks, Yuan. I'm sure a lot of judges will have some questions, right? Feel free to shoot ahead.
Sure.
Yeah, I think Jen, you can start, or Olivia.
Okay. Well, Juan, thank you very much for your presentation. This is Gen from Animoca. We have seen a number of different sort of guild management platforms moving into the space. Yours is very well thought through. How would you, but there is a question about differentiation and then access to the right guilds and all those types of questions. How would you, I guess,
Yeah, so basically, just to open up a bit about our fundraising, we actually led our seed round by Infinity Ventures Crypto, and Brian himself is actually one of the co-founders of YGGC. We actually talked with YGGC team, understanding like what are the pain points and what are the things that they actually need. And turns out our solution of automating the payouts for every single guild is by far the most feasible solution that they see. So once we have this launch I think by the end of this month, because we're staging our APIs by this week, we're seeing that YGG will be one of our early users, and understanding that we're successful with YGG basically puts the word for outside of like the community that guilds can actually start using it. And we're not actually capped to guilds, right? So even you, Jen, like Jen, I mean, if you're actually interested in forming your own guild, you can just directly hop on our web dashboard and yeah, deploy assets for people to use.
Thank you very much.
Olivier? Any other questions from other
sorry, I had the same question as Jen. Like my question was more around like the differentiation, which you just answered. Like, you know, obviously it's a crowded space, so I think it's quite an important one.
Yeah, I think so as well.
You know, maybe you can touch upon the token as well. You know, we haven't really covered that in the presentation. So, you know, will this be having a token, and what will the token be used for?
Yeah, so basically our I'll just relate back to like our mode. Basically, it's to offer off-ramp services in emerging markets, and having that blend of gaming basically resonates with people who don't understand cryptocurrency. So our token itself will be used to perform microtransactions within the application in mobile and web. So let's say the players want to perform payouts, and they would have to pay a small fee when they convert the tokens into fiat currency, and guilds would have to pay a platform fee when using the automation services that we provide, as well as like the dashboard, right? So that itself will require guilds to stake, and for the off-ramp services, we'll charge a small fee and then Metabase tokens that will be bought by players themselves.
Okay, thanks.
Hi, how's the onboarding going with guilds? Have you who have you onboarded? Are you live for that yet?
Yeah, so we're currently still focusing on a product deployment. Obviously, once we have this live, then we'll showcase it to guilds. But currently, the ones we're speaking with are actually one of the two of like some of the biggest guilds, which are YGGC and Unix Gaming. And fresh off like the launch, they'll be starting to onboard a few other players one by one.
And when do you expect that to be?
By this quarter, actually.
Okay. Right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, Stephen got my question. Great question, Stephen. Calvin here from Impossible. I guess to kind of tack on to that, you mentioned, you know, IVC and obviously YGGSEA. I'm kind of curious to kind of go deeper, because I think we've seen a lot of these guilds start to build some of these things in-house, and then I think also some of the kind of smaller guilds have you know, maybe a bigger need for something like this when they're kind of strapped for manpower. So wanted to kind of hear the approach towards whether you guys want to go after guilds that might be trying to rapidly expand, or how do you find the type of, specifically what type of guild that maybe needs Metabase the most?
Okay, so I think we're not entirely sure, like in terms of like whether these guilds actually have capital, right? They want to scale, but I think one of the pain points in which they face is basically the absence of automations and the ability to track the performance of the earnings at bulk. So we really want to know like which guilds actually, even if they're big, how much they want to scale, and if they're small, like how rapidly they want to expand. Right? So we're not entirely targeting the big guilds. In Indonesia specifically, we are solidifying our traction by reaching out in offline communities, people with actually assets. Let's say just about like, let's say 5 teams that can be deployed towards people that want to start playing with their axes. So it's not capped to like big guilds to try to use our application, but rather the ones that have sufficient capital to want to deploy to players and start going on renting our program.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys, again for having me. Yeah, so VisSpecs, look, from a very high level view, our primary function is a kind of incubation and launchpad platform. We've done a lot of market research across a lot of kind of launchpads, and honestly, we've done at least 20 of them. And we've really tried to hone in on what is most important to community and untapped kind of spaces, which I'll get into a little bit, and how to remove that barrier of entry. We've kind of come with a unique product design. We've split our launchpad model into two different sections. For now, I'll just call it the token economy and the NFT economy. So basically, the way the dual model works is, first of all, we're going to launch our limited supply in NFT. This NFT will grant free access to all IGOs and IDOs. So zero utility against the token, but I'll get into the utility in a minute. We've also created a new kind of innovation that we call the yield box. So every project that we incubate and launch, we're going to dedicate a certain supply of their token to the yield box, which allows our NFT holders to claim over a vesting schedule. This is not a large amount of tokens. It could be $5,000, $10,000 worth of tokens. We're also giving our NFT holders DAO access. So this will be the vetting process for all of the projects we incubate. So we give a one-page overview. We do our KYC from our side. We present it to the community. They vote. They incubate the project. It also gives them access to the DAO treasury for all the additional revenue streams that we'll be running. So the NFT royalties, a portion of that will be going to the DAO treasury. And the game hub, which I'll get into a little bit later as an addition to the ecosystem which we're creating here. So the whole idea around the NFT is to really boost up the value of that product that we're presenting on the 50% of the dual model. And the reason we want to do that is because we want the community to shy away from the general staking mechanisms when they get into a launchpad. And I mean, most of the launchpads we saw is you stake the token and you may get a chance to participate in an IGO or an IDO. Moving over to the token model. So the way that we're doing it, we've got two different types of models. So we've got the stake your token, but what you do here is you farm tickets. And these tickets allow you to participate in any IGO and IDO. The more tickets you accumulate, the higher your pool weight. But additionally to that is, let's just say you have 10 tickets and 5 projects are going at the same time. You're able to dilute your supply and invest in all of them, or you can just be a kind of manager, a small to medium-sized investor and invest all your 10 tickets into one project. The second part of the staking model is the farming of the NFT. So there's a total supply of 6,000 of our NFTs. 500 we're going to dedicate to the farming pool. The reason we are doing this is, again, like I said before, create value for that NFT. So people that don't want to get into the staking rat race to accumulate tickets to apply, they just want to get the NFT and get into the kind of the value behind and the benefits behind that powerhouse. So that, in essence, is the dual model, and I'm more than happy to get into more detail of how it works. Why are we different? I think utility is something that we've really focused on. We understand that with launchpads, there's a couple of main factors here. What is the utility, or at least the direct utility, and are there any indirect utilities that are driving the kind of buy pressure and staking pressure of your platform? So the indirect utilities which we've come up with is an additional feature to our ecosystem, what we call the game hub, which is this one. So it's basically just your normal gaming aggregator. You can list your game on there, and it gives people a very clear vision of what popular games are coming out. And when you click on the game, just gives you a very clear, play the game, buy the token, official website. I mean, these are all expandable. It's very flexible. Just depends on what stage each game is in. But the whole idea behind this Game Hub is, once we acquire user acquisition, which I'll get to in a minute, how we're going to do that. We're going to be running advertising space on the main page and each of the game pages. In order to advertise, if you look at play-to-earn.net, it's very straightforward. You choose in the calendar, you pay in USDT, and you move on, and you get to advertise on the platform. We're doing it different. So for the first 6 to 8 months, in order to advertise, you need to buy the VIS token, submit it after you do the calendar, and then it goes into a burnt wallet. So we want to be able to keep the flow of our kind of upward stream of our token pressure, just at least through advertising. This will also accumulate the royalties from the NFT. We haven't, I mean, it's a community-run treasury, but this can also lend itself to buy back the token if it goes to a certain level, just to keep the community happy. So where we are with this Game Hub, so on the 26th of April, I've got 30 hand-selected games that are going to come onto this Game Hub for the launch. Each of them are going to tweet about it, put it in their Telegram, and put it in their Discord. And we're expecting around 2.5 million views within the space to land on this Game Hub page. So that is another utility we really want to drive there. We've also come up with a unique aspect. I feel like I need to really drive this kind of point here. So Launchpad's inherently a very Telegram heavy community. You know, these small to medium sized investors, they want to get in there. But there is a whole untapped market out there, which I would just like to call like the NFT space, the NFT community, which is very Discord heavy. So our main focus right now is solely on Discord. We're creating quite a few big alpha partnerships in there. And the idea behind the alpha partnerships is the, you know, what is their contribution to our brand and what is their contribution to our gaming partners. And they're huge community growth, hacking communities. And there's also NFT kind of VC type approach projects happening there. So what we do is we're creating an executive partner lounge within our, let me just put it on here. Can't find it. Within our Launchpad. So basically what it is, these guys partner with us. We create an exclusive lounge for their NFT holders. And when they want to, you know, invest in a project, we, in the back end, we create like an IGO or an IDO. They connect their wallet. If they have that project NFT, they are then able to participate. And in order for them to participate, they need to have this X token in their wallet. So it's kind of another utility. And the result of that is not only initial investment, but they collectively will market and like drive the product awareness of the IGO or the IDO project that they're investing in, which brings a whole new form of value to that project, whether it's through their NFT sales or whether it's through their token. Yeah, so in essence, that's kind of the product we're trying to deliver to the market. We've got a few strategic partners in the NFT space. As I said before, we're really trying to focus on that part. And these are big alpha groups, very well known in the space. One of them is Llamaverse. So Llamaverse is creating a metaverse with a capped project amount of 40. We will be the only exclusive incubator and launchpad, which opens the doors for our pipeline of, you know, projects coming through our launchpad. And I think only 15% of them have a token release. The rest of them need to go down that road, which we provide our incubation services. And then obviously all the VC partnerships within the NFT space, they bring all their projects through our tech. And then, so there's a huge pipeline on that side. On the token side, we have quite a unique partnership.
Yeah, you passed the time, right? Let's give the questions to the judges to ask.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Anybody want to ask any questions to Ash?
I can talk all day, honestly.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm stopping you.
I actually really wanted to touch up on a very unique partnership that I had through the gaming studio out of California. They have 60 plus games and they have equity in 12 other studios that have existing games. And they've come to us 4 months ago and they said, listen, our top heavy games are very good in the market in the space outside of crypto, but their bottom games just aren't getting the traction they need. And they've dedicated 12 developers from their team to convert these existing games into blockchain play-to-earn models. So how does that work? We deconstruct the game, we build up the tokenomics up the middle, and then we rebuild the game around it with our tech team and then their developers. And if you see Rogue Shift on our website, that will be the first game that we're going to be introducing. I'll stop.
Thanks, Ash. Any questions from judges or?
Hi, Stephen here. You feel like the Launchpad market is now like extremely saturated? There's literally hundreds of them. Where do you feel you're going to get the traction? And why would, basically what's the traction when there's already hundreds out there?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that everything's getting quite saturated at the moment, whether it's games, Launchpad, guilds, as I saw before. I think the traction with us lies in that we have a unique model, and we have benefits and utility just outside of our Launchpad in itself that drive that token essentially, and also drive that passive kind of income. And we're in certain spaces within the space that is going to give us a healthy and no competition zone for us in terms of like that metaverse that I told you about. No one else is in there. This is direct access for us. There's no sharing between other Launchpads. And then obviously that partnership that we have out of California. The road and the pipeline for us is extremely healthy. And it's going to bring a whole new clout of games on our platform. And as I said, with that partnership, product comes to market within 3 to 5 months.
Thank you.
Hi, Ash. This is Oliver from Outlier Ventures. Just, quick question, like from my side. I think historically, like, the issue with Launchpads sort of, in a way, like Launchpad, they market themselves as in like for projects you can tap into like an existing community, but then in reality, what happens is that community is not really a good fit for like the project itself to actually like become users. Like they're more interested in like, flipping for profits than actually in the underlying project itself.
Right.
How, and I think, the market that you're tapping into, like gaming specifically, I would say like users are probably even more important than like token users or like a token community. How do you see your product sort of like coming up with a solution for that?
It's quite, you know what, this is a great question. So this is just the thing, right? If you see gaming projects, they really get into the traditional VCs, they really go into the Telegram side of things and they build up this big community. But if you go and actually look at the game within this space, they have to be more Discord heavy. They have to be. So this should be their real market and community angle that we need to touch on. And this is what we're really driving for. This is why I said we need to stop that whole small town investors and token flippers, which is really that Telegram community. I have really no other way of saying it. And we're focused on Discord because this is where the gamer space is. And this is where it's really untouched at the moment. And this is where we want to drive and market their product for all the projects that we incubate. I mean, we're going to offer both services for them, but actually with gamers, you need to drive it into that really Discord space where they feel more at home too. So